I actually did something a lot of fun. It's not necessarily just horror genre. It is actually more strongly in the Western genre. And I watched a little movie called Bone Tomahawk.
Ooh, no, that's horror. From what I've heard, that's horror.
It's got, well, when the horror comes in, do you believe it's a horror movie? It's a terrible title, Bone Tomahawk. I was like, I really don't know what else I would call it. But Bone Tomahawk just does not sound like a great title to me. You know how I am about that.
Yeah.
It's a Western horror hybrid, but in a true sense, mostly Western. But like I said, when the horror comes in, it is brutal. It's directed by S. Craig Zahler, who I went into a rabbit hole over. He has done other films called Dragged Across Concrete and Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from this, he is a novelist. He writes books. And Kurt Russell was actually reading him, I think, before he was even in this movie, because Kurt says he writes realistic Westerns.
Okay.
So I have since bought one of his books. I haven't read it yet, but I'm curious, because if they're as dark as this, I'm very curious to see how they read. The cast, of course, is fantastic. Aside from Kurt Russell, it also stars Matthew Fox, who we know from Lost, Patrick Wilson, who, God, first time I saw him was in like Angels in America, I think. And Richard Jenkins, the guy that was the father on 6 Feet Under. Very, very recognizable character actor. And he has one of the best parts in this, by the way. Synopsis, it's in the Old West. A sheriff, Kurt Russell, and his deputy, Richard Jenkins, and a gunslinger, Matthew Fox, and a cowboy, Patrick Wilson, embark on a mission to rescue 3 people from a savage group of cave dwellers. So it is an Indian tribe or a Native American tribe, but even the Native Americans that are like friends with the townsfolk fear this Native American offshoot of people that live in these caves. So they're legendary. It gets 91% on Rotten Tomatoes with 103 reviews. And I say it's a completely fair rating, even though it wasn't horror all the way through. I was totally into it the entire time.
Wow.
And I've actually added it to our list of movies that we could potentially cover. So that's what I did in my genre week.
Maybe they should call it like Prairie Descent, since it's cave dwellers sort of thing.
Black.
Just black.
Dark.
That's the name of the none more black. It's the blackest it could be.
Blood on the saddle. Blood on the saddle. Isn't that the Country Bear Jamboree? I think it is.
Let's.
Start the car. Johnny has the